The first image came from a research drone.
Ice field.
It was flying over a remote Arctic ice field. Nothing was supposed to be there. No station, no road, no landing site. Just ice, stretching to the horizon. Then, the drone detected a dark rectangle beneath the surface. At first, it looked like a shadow. Then the image was enhanced. The edges were too straight to be natural. The shape was vertical. And it had a frame. What the drone had found was not a crack. It was not a cave. It was a metal doorway, frozen inside the Arctic ice. And, according to every official map of the region, it did not exist. The site was later marked as Sector 47 North, a blank white zone on satellite maps, far from permanent settlements, far from shipping routes, far from any known research base. The drone had not been searching for structures. It was scanning for meltwater channels. But one thermal image returned something impossible. A perfect cold rectangle, colder than the ice around it. Metal should not behave that way, not unless something behind it was pulling heat inward. When the drone lowered closer, the shape became clearer. The door was standing upright. Its edges disappeared into the ice, and both sides continued beyond the visible surface. That was the first problem. It was not debris. It was attached to something. Sector 47 North sits in one of the least accessible Arctic regions. For most of the year, the area is covered by darkness. Wind erases tracks within minutes. Snow hides changes in the ice. And from above, the entire region looks empty. That is why the doorway made no sense. There were no vehicle marks around it, no fuel drums, no antenna foundations, no trace of construction. If people had built something here, they had left almost nothing behind. The first explanation was simple. It could have been an old polar station. During the Cold War, remote Arctic zones were used quietly for radar, for weather monitoring, for submarine detection. Some sites were abandoned, some were removed from public records, and some were never clearly marked at all. So the doorway could have belonged to one of them. That answer almost worked until the scans came back. Ground radar did not show a small buried shelter. It showed a vertical wall, then another wall, then a larger shape behind the door. The visible doorway was only the center point. The structure extended at least 40 meters across, and the lower section vanished beyond scanner range. That meant most of it was still hidden, buried under compacted ice. One researcher described it as a building inside a glacier. But buildings do not stand inside glaciers, not unless the ice moved over them, or someone built them beneath it. Both possibilities created a larger mystery. The team started with the drone images, then the thermal scans, then the older satellite records. For 5 years, the area looked empty. 10 years earlier, still empty. 15 years earlier, nothing but ice. Then one older scan showed a faint, dark line. It appeared exactly where the doorway now stood. At first, it looked like a compression crack. But when the image was aligned with the drone footage, the line matched the top edge of the door. The structure had not appeared suddenly. It had been there for years, possibly decades. The ice had only begun to reveal it. Then the team searched old polar charts. Most showed nothing. But one damaged map from the 1960s was different. Near Sector 47 North, it showed a small black square. Beside it was a partial label. 3 characters remained visible. K-19. No public Arctic facility carried that name. No weather archive listed it. No expedition record explained it. Then a second map showed the same region. This time, there was no black square, only a rectangular warning boundary. The note beside it read, "No landing. surface unstable. But the warning zone was too precise, too geometric, too close to the radar shape beneath the ice. The warning was not describing the surface, it was marking what lay under it. A wider radar sweep changed the investigation. Behind the doorway, the scanner detected empty space. Not one room, several. One chamber was circular, one was long and narrow. Another passage descended at an angle. It did not lead randomly into the ice, it pointed toward the coast, toward the frozen ocean. When the scan was placed over bathymetric maps, the passage aligned with an underwater ridge. The doorway was not the structure. It was an entrance. And whatever it entered seemed to continue below the Arctic shelf. At that point, the first answer seemed obvious. It may have been a submarine listening post, a hidden Cold War station under the ice. The thick door could have sealed an access chamber. The descending tunnel could have led to underwater sensors. The circular room could have held acoustic equipment. It was a clean explanation, remote enough to stay hidden, technical enough to explain the layout, secret enough to disappear from public maps. But the material test did not match. The door was not ordinary steel. It was built in layers. The outer layer resisted pressure and cold. The inner layer absorbed vibration. Not from wind, not from shifting ice. From sound. The door had not only been built to seal the structure, it had been built to keep something quiet. The team placed acoustic sensors around the doorway. For 12 hours, they recorded almost nothing, only wind, ice movement, distant pressure cracks. Then, at exactly 3:17 a.m., the sensors moved. A low vibration came from behind the door, steady, controlled, repeating. It lasted 90 seconds, then stopped. The next night, it happened again. Same time, same duration, same frequency. No aircraft were nearby. No ships were close enough. No active station reported equipment in the area. The signal was coming from inside the ice, and it was not random. The frequency matched old underwater communication experiments, signals designed not for the air, but for the ocean. That changed the meaning of the doorway. It was not the entrance to a bunker. It was an access point to a relay station, a hidden acoustic node built inside the ice, connected to transmission lines beneath the Arctic shelf. Its purpose was simple: send and receive signals through ice and ocean, without towers, without antennas, without a visible surface base. Just a door buried in white silence. But the discovery created one final problem. The system should have died decades ago. Its power should have failed. Its cables should have broken. The ice should have crushed its chambers. But every night, the pulse returned. And when the direction was mapped, the signal did not point to any known station. It pointed farther north, toward another coordinate, a coordinate also marked on the old, damaged map, under a second black square. The expedition never opened the door. Not because the metal was too thick, not because the ice was too unstable, but because the final scan showed something unexpected. The locks were facing inward. The pressure bolts were facing inward. The emergency release was on the other side. The door had not been sealed from outside. It had been sealed from within. That changed the entire question. Maybe it was not built only to keep people out. Maybe it was built so something inside could open it. The last recording was taken just before dawn. The Arctic was almost completely dark. Snow moved across the ice like static. The camera held on the frozen metal seam. No people, no machines, only the door. Then at 3:17 a.m., the sensors spiked again. The snow around the doorway shifted. The ice began to vibrate. And behind the frozen seam, one small light turned on. Not outside, inside. If Sector 47 North was only one doorway, then the real question is not who built it. The real question is, how many others are still waiting under the ice?